Alright, welcome to the second video in the Beginner's Lounge series. I figured I should go over Reversal Edge today since it's the second core defensive mechanic in Soulcalibur 6. It's never been in any other game, so this is a completely fresh mechanic. Some people love it and some people definitely hate it. I think I'm probably somewhere in between. So let's go over a few little frame data quirks on it first. First of all, Reversal Edge starts to parry attacks within 6 frames. So a lot of things that Reversal Edge works on, GI of course works on as well, because GI starts in 2 frames. But a lot of things GI works on doesn't necessarily mean Reversal Edge will work on, because the window might not be big enough. That comes up a lot in certain strings in this game. The big advantage that Reversal Edge has over GI is that it has a much larger window to parry attacks. It can also kind of option select certain scenarios because of that window being so long. I mean, you can even hold it, so. But the problems come into the fact that it's actually an attack that has a large whiff animation, as you can see. And they are all vertical. So they're very easily stepped on reaction and usually give a full lethal hit combo with most characters. So you're getting probably some of your best damage in your entire kit when you see these and react step them. So that is the ante, I guess we're going into it already, to Reversal Edge, is that if you expect them, you can just step. Or even better, they lose to the same things that GI does for lethal hits, which is unblockables and the A+B lethal hits, or whatever is in your kit. So right there, as you can see, Astaroth gets a lethal hit. I don't know Astaroth's lethal hit combo, so I'm going to make something up. So generally, as I was saying last video, I think these are much more risk heavy than GI, because usually if you whiff GI, you're relatively safe. You're not getting super messed up if they just step your GI on reaction. When an opponent sees a GI, he has to do something relatively quick to whiff punish it, whereas I have forever to lethal hit this. Which is why a lot of players thought it was very good in the initial stages of Soulcalibur 6, but it's kind of fallen off, especially since a lot of people have realized certain moves are safe, even if they are parried. I don't know what lethal, or what Astaroth has, but yeah, you can see his K is Reversal Edge save. That basically means I'm getting parried, but I can still step in time. So combine that with the fact that it's a vertical, very unsafe on whiff, and some moves are just impervious to it anyways. It's generally not recommended to use very often, especially since it has the same drawbacks as GI. As far as the lethal hits on A+B, and just general offensive pressure can't be stifled completely by it. And of course it starts 4 frames slower, so it doesn't even work on most things. The times you'll want to use Reversal Edge are for moments when you don't want to guess a mix-up, and the mix-up has very different startup frames. So if Astaroth were to do, that's a lethal hit, or a guard break, so that doesn't count. Maybe this, or how do I do it? This. These have different enough frames that GI might get messed up by it. So if you are wanting to actually make a defensive read, instead of guessing between the high and the mid, because you'd have to step the mid and you'd have to duck the high, you could Reversal Edge both. And sometimes, you know, the Reversal Edge attacks are quite good. Astaroth basically gets a free ring out on any ring out stage with his B on the second round. I guess that's a perfect segue into going into what even happens when I hit a reversal edge. When I hit a reversal edge, you and the other player are thrown into a literal rock, paper, scissors game where kicks beat verticals, verticals beat horizontals, and horizontals beat kicks. So it's in that circular rock, paper, scissors fashion. It's a little bit more complex because you have the option to move forward, sidestep, and move backwards as well. And those all lose to different things, such as the forward movement will beat A attacks, and the sidestep will beat B attacks. Kicks usually don't follow any set rule in this game. It kind of depends on the character. Like, I'll try to sidestep, ask to sidestep really quick. Use kick on sidestep. So yeah, so he can't step that, and I don't think he can move forward on that, so it beats both movement options. I'm going to say right now, almost always backwards movement isn't that good. I think backwards is the thing that beats kicks. Yeah. Backwards is the most risky because it loses to both A and B. And that's usually what most people use. It's kind of matchup dependent because everyone's A, B, and K all do something different. So you'll have to do some matchup knowledge checks on your own for that. But in general, people usually do A and B for their reversal edges. There's some different ones like Zoslamel, but we can go into that later. There's also the ability to just guard in reversal edge scenarios. See, I held guard there. And if Astaroth would have done A or K, I would have guarded them normally. But if he does a B, it resets the scenario into a even more dangerous reversal edge mix-up. Boom, see? And I'll block again, and he guard breaks me. So guard is a good option, but it's still, if they pick B and they throw you into the second round, a lot of these reversal edge attacks gain new properties, such as usually all the lethal hit options come from the second round. Astaroth, for example, he gets one from the second round. It's not a lethal hit, but this one goes way further ring out wise. So generally, you know, it's 50-50 Rochambeau, rock, paper, scissors, 100%. It just has a few more options. The last thing I wanted to go over is that reversal edges have different hitboxes depending on character, and there are even a few that are unsafe on block. Nightmares, for example, is unsafe on block. It also has the best hitbox in the entire game, and there are some characters that can start a reversal edge but then cancel it into a stance, such as Raphael. So it's kind of on you to go into the lab and test these for yourself. And really that's it. It's the same defensive mechanic as GI, just a little bit perverted. You still lose to 10% guard stamina. It's still a complete gamble. Usually it's gonna get you messed up more than GI. That's what I want to end this with, is that if you're gonna use a defensive mechanic, use GI most times. Alright guys, have a good one.